Hello traders, this is Dave with the options live trading room. It's actually going to be called the SPY Super System options trading room here soon, as well as the alert service, and we have an alert service as well. And I'm going to cover here tonight video I did last night, which I forgot to put sound on, but tonight I'm going to cover the October results from the trading room I have, the alert service I have, as well as this methodology called the SPY Super System. Which is a methodology for trading the SPYs, the Qs, and the IWMs. So we're going to go over that right now. We're going to go over the results for October and talk about what our methodology is in the room, how we use it, and how you can make some money. All right, so again, first thing I have to do is the disclaimer. All signals and trading opportunities we provide here are for educational and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. And neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, so we won't be giving financial advice. All right, first thing we want to talk about is in the room, in my options room, and in the alert service, we have a couple of rules to trade by. Very simple. We trade the best and skip the rest. Sounds easy. It's not. We look for very high probability trades. And I have a piece of software called the SPY Super System software that allows us to identify when the institutions are in the trades and when they're not. And we're following the institutions. If you want to make money trading, you want to be trading the way the institutions are trading. So again, trade the best, skip the rest. Second thing, our objective is not to make trades. Our objective is to make money. And the whole point of this is to try to get traders not overtrade. Traders seem to be very antsy. If they're not in a trade all the time, they feel like they need to be. So we wait for trade setups to come to us, and then we trade. We're only taking the very best trades. So keep in mind that your objective is not to make trades. You're trying to make money, but you do that by only taking the best trades. All right. So as a retail trader, we're trading against millions of other retail traders, and we need an edge. So to be a profitable trader, we need an edge. Our edges is the Right Line Compass switches, which I'm going to change this to the Right Line SPY Super Systems software is what it's going to be. This is a piece of software. We trade relative strength and relative weakness. This is important. A lot of retail traders don't even take this into consideration. What that means is if a stock, if the SPY is moving sideways and down, and you have a stock that's stacking green candles, then you've got relative strength. And relative strength gives you a big edge over other retail traders, because if the market turns against you, that stock that you're in is not going to turn it as quickly just because it has relative strength or relative weakness. Obviously, if the market's going up and you've got a stock that's going down, it has relative weakness. You want to be trading those short, right? And we trade with the market trend if there is one. Obviously, it's been bullish for the last few days here. So we trade with the market trend, and then we want to buy near support and sell near resistance. Right, so that's really important. Buy near support, sell near resistance, because that gets you in so that your stop is going to be, relatively close to where you entered the trade. The compass system, which is again, I'm going to change all these slides, but it's going to be called the SPY Super System. We have a piece of software called the SPY Super System, and we have a methodology called the SPY Super System, and we're going to cover that. But what it does is it identifies the highest probability trade setups by sidestepping the others. And the others, by looking at what the institutions are doing, we're only going to take trades that the institutions are in. That's the long and short of it. If you're trading and you don't know whether the institutions are in the trade or not, you're really cutting down your probabilities of winning, because you may be trading when they're not, or you may be trading against them. We do this by identifying when the institutions are driving the move and when they're not. And it analyzes the complex trading data and displays the results in easily identifiable visual format, which is, I'll show you what that looks like. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail on this tonight, because this is just a recap video, but it does go into some fairly complex calculations to come up with the information that we need to find these trades. And the fact that it's presented visually, and I'll show you a chart that looks like that, but the visual element makes it really easy for even new traders who are fairly new to identify if the institutions are in the trade, whether it's a good setup or not. Okay, and we get this edge because we're only taking trades that are being driven by institutions. Well, trading stocks that have relative strength or weakness versus the SPYs or the Qs, and we're trading in the direction of the overall market. These three things right here, if you're following this, taking trades that are being driven by the institutions, taking trades with relative strength or relative weakness, and trading in the direction of the overall market, if there is a trend, you're ahead of about 96% of the retail traders in the world. Most of them don't have any idea whether institutions and trades. Most of them don't even look at whether the stocks get relative strength or not. So again, how does this give us an edge? Our trades are going to be supported by institutional buying and selling. The stocks will be outperforming the SPY or the Qs, and they're going to be moving in the direction of the overall market. So that's how we get an edge. And just so you have a kind of a view of what we do in the options room and on the alert service. This is kind of what I call a basic high probability trade setup funnel. This is basically a virtual funnel. Obviously, this is the thought process I go through when I look at a stock. First, I look at the daily chart and make sure if I want to go long that the daily chart is set up bullish. If I want to go short, the daily chart needs to be bearish. I'm not going to trade against the daily chart, because if you get into a stock long or into a trade long and the daily chart is bearish and the stock reverses on you and you have a loss, you have to get out. You can't stay in the trade because you've got a bearish daily chart. So you certainly can't stay in it all day, and you can't hold it overnight. You don't have anything to lean on. So I'm only going to trade in the direction that the daily is set up for. And then we look at the 5-minute chart to find our best entry for those kind of trades. This doesn't apply necessarily to the SPY super system methodology that we use, because that's just trading off the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM on 5-minute charts. We'll talk a little bit about that. So I don't care about the daily chart. I'm not looking at the daily chart on the SPY. I'm just looking at the 5-minute chart for the SPY super system trades. Again, we want to trade with the trend, both the stock and the market. Then we want the compass indicators, or what's going to be called the SPY super system indicators. We want them to align bullishly. And then we want to see if the stock has relative strength and relative weakness. If a stock you're looking at checks all these boxes off, then you just want to try to enter near support or near resistance. That's, near support for a long, near resistance for a short. Then when that happens and the stock meets all these, drops out the bottom, you look at it, and then you go in and see of the ones you found, which one is the best, and are the technical setups good. That's what I do. I look more deeply into technical analysis once the stock passes these criteria, but it's got to pass these criteria first. All right, so again, here is the funnel method for the highest probability trades. Identify the market trend. Stock to be traded should have the daily and 5-minute chart aligned. I keep emphasizing that. It's important that you're trading in the direction of the daily chart. The indicators must align in the direction of the trade. So you want institutions buying if you're going long, and you want them selling if you're going short. If the institutions are neutral, you can't determine if they're buying or they're not buying, then you skip the trade. And again, they should have relative strength and weakness versus the SPY, as we've talked about. We'll talk about this VWAP in a little bit. This is on the 5-minute chart, the volume weighted average price. And then trade near confirmed support for a long and near resistance for a short. And have patience. This is the thing that we emphasize the most in the room, is have patience. Don't be forcing trades. Wait for the trades to come to you. Some days we don't have any good swing type trades that we even take. We have plenty of SPY super system trades that we take that are off the 5-minute chart. Okay, so the strategies that we use in the room and on the alert service, we do straight calls and puts. This is a majority of them. We use debit spreads using weekly options expiration. We do time spreads. These are non-directional trades over earnings. We take it just before earnings comes out to capture volatility crush. So non-directional. Don't care if the stock goes up or down after earnings. We just want to capture the volatility crush. Premiums are inflated on options just before earnings because the market makers don't know which way it's going to go and how much it's going to move. So the price for the calls and puts go up a lot. So what we do is we create a time spread, calendar spread to capture that volatility. And I have videos on all of these if you're a member of the room or the alert service, there's videos on every single strategy we use. And then I have another strategy called the weekly ATM strategy. This is a strategy set up that sells puts week after week after week against a stock that's neutral to bullish. And we keep a longer dated long put, in other words, a put that's at a lower strike price out further in time, like 6-8 weeks out in time. And that gives us protection in case the stock turns against us. and also reduces the margin required for the trade. And we do credit spreads to capture premium over a few weeks. And then the SPY super system is a methodology for very high probability trades to catch the SPY, the Qs, or the IWM to catch those moves. And I'll show you how that works, and I'll show you what our results have been with those. Okay, so these are our October trades in the room and on the alert service. These were all the trades we took in October. You see we had the 17 wins and 3 losses in the room, 14 wins and 3 losses on the alert service. Alert service doesn't have as many trades as the room, because the room we take trades sometimes that are only going to last a half an hour, or we take trades late in the day, like 10 minutes to 4. I don't alert on those because it's not really fair to the alert members to get alerted on a trade after the market closes. So anyway, 17 wins and 3 losses for an 85% win rate. 2,000 invested in each trade. In the room created a profit of $8,583, a little over 8,500. October for the room, for the alerts, 14 wins and 3 losses, 82% win rate. 2,000 invested in each trade produced a profit of 6,063. And you see the percentage of gains on the traded stocks. This is kind of important. I try to emphasize that a lot of people think they're going to get 300, 400, 500, 600% on trades. It's nonsense. You can't be consistently profitable shooting for those kind of results. It's not going to happen. So this is what we got in October. Again, VST 28, 57% here, 32%. So you can see the percentages, run between 10, 15% up to about as high as 60. We had 60% here. We had crowd, we had 44%, 35. But this is the trades that we did. This lunar trade we just recently finished, and that was a 61% winner. And then we had 3 losses, and here they are right here. And again, when we have losses, typically you have losses every month. I don't know that I've had any months with 0 losses, maybe 1 in the last 2.5 years. But so you're going to get some losses. So these are the losses that we had, and these are the wins that we had. And this is what produced this 85.83 if you invested 2,000 in each trade. And nobody necessarily puts the same amount into each trade, but I have to have some sort of a baseline to go by. So that's what we did in the room, and this is what we did in the alert service. It was a good October. I mean, very good October. We had we didn't take a huge number of trades, only 20 trades, but still really, really nice month. The SPY super system, and I'll go show you what that works. The SPY super system is a methodology that we trade the SPYs, the Qs, the IWM off of a 5-minute chart. We're only taking very quick trades. Most of these trades are not going to last very long. Maybe 2 candles, 3 candles, maybe 5 or 6 candles, but they're only going to last 5 or 6 5-minute candles. So we had 33 wins in October for a profit of 62.29, and we had 4 losses. So we had 37 trades. We won 33 of those 37 for 62.29. Our 4 losses ended up 13.98. So our net profit for the month was 48.31. 2,000 invested in each trade. This profit here is not included in any of these profits here. This is completely separate. This is just the money. So basically, if you're in the room and you traded this in the room trades, 8,500, and if you add the SPY super systems, about 4,000, so about $12,000, $13,000 off of those 2 methodologies. And there's quite a few trades here, 37 trades. A lot of them don't last very long, and a lot of them are some of the wins are fairly small, because if you got a choppy market, you might get a move for 20, 30 cents, and you have to take it because it moves back against you. On a trending market, you can get $1, $2, $3 sometimes per contract, which would be like $200 or $300 on the SPYs or the Qs or the IWM. But so this is what the SPY super system did in October. This is what the SPY super system setup looks like. So this is where I'm going to introduce you to what used to be called the Compass system, which is now called the SPY super system. It's a piece of software that runs on Thinkorswim. I don't trade on Thinkorswim. I trade off of Tradier using a TradeHawk, but I put the software on the Thinkorswim. When you can buy the software, this SPY super system software. But this looks real busy, but it's really not. This is the things that we're looking on here. This is a long-term trend. This is multiple time frame momentum. This is current time frame momentum, and this is a derivation of money flow. This is what tells us whether the institutions are in the trade or not. This is a 5-minute chart on the SPY. All right, so the SPY super system, I just want to show you how this works. SPY super system, this is the only thing we're looking at for an indicator is right here. The current time frame momentum. We're looking for it to go to be blue or green for long and red and yellow for short. All right. Here's the other keys we're using. This is the VWAP, volume weighted average price. And this line right here is the 15 EMA. Either one of these becomes our level for support or resistance where we want to enter. We want to enter when the stock price is coming through the VWAP or coming off the 15 EMA. Those are our support and resistance levels. So here's the trade we took on this SPY super system trade right here. This was on August 9th. But you can see here's the entry, right? You see what this current time frame momentum looks like. It goes red to blue, right? Institutions selling, institutions buying, stock price breaking above the VWAP right here, and the 15 as a matter of fact, but it breaks above the VWAP. Here's a pink arrow. This pink arrow is called a pop signal or a pop out of the box signal. This tells us that the stock is breaking out of compression. This gives us added conviction to take the trade. You don't have to have it, but it has to give us added conviction. So you see it turned red to blue right here. Selling, buying. Get in right here. Now we're watching the price go up and it's riding along the 15. So this now becomes our stop once we get in here as the stock price continues up, continues up, continues up. And it's getting a little extended here. And we're obviously thinking about taking profits. And as soon as we see this, we take profits right here on this move. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 candles, right? So about 1 hour of time on this trade. That's particular trade, and this is a decent trend right here, produced a $220 profit per contract on this SPY trade if you were buying SPY calls. So that's pretty nice. But this is what the SPY super system looks for. And again, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I have a whole video on this, but this is the kind of setup you take. You see how close you are to support here? So if it breaks down below the VWAP, your loss is going to be really fairly small because you're out of it. You want this thing, once it breaks out and this goes to buying, you want it to stay buying. Now notice that the current time frame momentum right here. See how it went to blue and stayed blue and green all the way through to here. All right. So we stayed in the trade while the institutions were buying. I wasn't necessarily looking for the color change to get out. I was looking for momentum to stop right here. Once momentum stopped, then I'm going to get out. All right. So that's what the setup is. Just a quick recap of what we look for. And I only call these out in the room. I can't alert on these because they're too quick. But a lot of folks in the room are using this now to have really, really good success. And I'll just recap what the intraday trading has been since July, which is when I introduced the SPY super system, the SPY super system methodology. In July, we had 16 and 0. That was the last half of the month. 2,000 invested, produced 25.96. August, we had a lot of trades, 56, 6 and 2, 56 wins, 6 losses, 2 scratches, 2,000 invested in each trade, produced 82.01. September, 40 wins, 3 losses, 2 scratches, 2,000 produced 71.32. And October, 33 and 4, 2,000 invested, produced 48.31. So it just kind of depends on how the market is, how much trending stocks you get, how much the market's trending, how much is chopping around. It's going to indicate how much profit you can actually make in this. Because, you know, some of them you only might make 30 cents, 40 cents, $30, $40 a contract. Some you'll make 200. All right. But the nice thing about all of this is people have become members of the room. My room is open from market open to market close every trading day. But a lot of people can't or don't want to be in there all day long. And sometimes we may not find any trades or 1 or 2 trades. But if you're just sitting there waiting for that, it can be, I suppose, be pretty boring. So a lot of people will trade this SPY super system while they're waiting, while they're in the room, so they can come in for an hour in the morning or an hour or 2 or an hour or 2 in the afternoon and trade the SPY super system and do really, really well. And the key here is you're only going to have 1 trade on at a time. You're just managing 1 trade. Once you close it, you're out, then you can look for another one. And they're going to be short duration. So it allows you, we only call them out in the room. So you either have to be in the room or you have to own what used to be the compass system. You have to own the SPY super system piece of software that goes on your Thinkorswim platform, which you don't have to pay for. You can download Thinkorswim. Rightline will go ahead and put the SPY super system on your computer, and it's going to look exactly like mine, just like this. These are the indicators. It's going to have all of those on there as well. So anyway, this is what the SPY Super System has done over the last 4 months. Pretty good. Just starting November here, I think I got about 9 trades so far in November, 8 or 9 trades, all winners so far in November. So this is a pretty successful SPY Super System that we do in the room on top of the other methodologies we do here, which have produced this kind of results in September. All right, so it might be a little confusing, but I just do want to just kind of recap what our profits were on the SPY Super System. Pretty nice, 48.31 in October and 85.83 in October on our trades. And again, these are separate. This 8,000 does not include this 4,000. All right. So listen, I want to thank you for listening to the webinar. Hopefully you'll be interested in the SPY Super System software as well as my trading room and my alert service. And you'll have more information on that. You can get more information on that after you watch this. So again, I appreciate everybody viewing this, and I hope everybody has a great trading day tomorrow and has a nice long weekend. All right, everybody, see you in the room.